Some people rock and some people roll. Some will make you giggle right down to your soul. So talk to the world and introduce them to you. And look at me now, I'm on Barbara and you. You gotta take a step inside the shoes of another. Get to know your neighbor, get to know one another. So talk to the world and introduce them to you. And look at me now, I'm on Barbara and you.
Good evening and welcome to our program. I always introduce my guests left to right, and on the left there we have Joanne Hughes, who is a very familiar face around FATV, and I'm getting a kick out of you sitting there saying, oh, everything's new. You've only been gone a couple of years, Joanne.
I know, everything is new.
Yes, lots of good improvements
wonderful.
here.
Yes.
It definitely is. And also we have Dr. Lisa Moisen. And Lisa, nice to see you again. And I'm going to have you begin by if somebody has never heard of Alpha, and I told them what it is, but you can expand on that.
Absolutely. I love talking about Alpha. As you said, it stands for Adult Learning in the Fitchburg area. It's a program that has been around here in the Fitchburg area for probably around 12,
Getting on 13 or 14
years now.
Like that, yeah.
It's a program basically for older adults who are still interested, as many are, in learning and coming back to the university to be able to participate in a variety of different kinds of courses. Lots of different kinds of courses, and I can talk a little bit about what our enrollment looks like and how that's changed over the years. We have free lectures that people can attend. We have wonderful trips that they can go on, and we have all sorts of kind of specialty programming. When the program first started many years ago, it really came out of the community. Community members came together who were older and said, we're not done learning.
Yeah.
And so they approached the university. Our president at that time was President Bob Antonucci. They approached him and he said, absolutely, sounds like a wonderful idea. And the collaboration was born out of that. The first semester it started, we only had a tiny little handful of courses, maybe 3 courses. And this past fall semester, we offered 40 courses.
When I looked at your brochure, I could not believe.
So it has grown quite a bit. We have a fall semester and a spring semester, 40 courses each, so we're probably doing 80 plus courses in a year now, and we pull from about 13 to 14 different surrounding communities. So we have people coming from as far away as Pepperell and Groton, southern New Hampshire who are coming down, Sterling, Clinton, and hearing about our program and coming up. Our enrollment this past fall was in probably about 750 for our enrollment, and we probably bring between 300 to 400 older adults onto campus each semester. So we've grown quite a bit.
You know, part of the reason why it really gets started, because there have always been continuing learning classes like at Monty Tech and the high schools and things. But a lot of people get to a point where they really don't want to be out at night. I mean, especially this time of year. So the beauty of this program is that people are taking classes either in mid to late morning or right early afternoon, or I think our last class goes 2:30 to 4.
Yep.
And so it's daytime, first of all. Second of all, many of the classes now are at McKay School.
Yep.
And there's plenty of parking there. It's easy to get to. If you don't want to drive into that area, you can park down on John Fitch Highway near the Civic Center and take the shuttle. And also, we have such a breadth of offerings.
Right. And I think I first heard about this many years ago with our mutual friend Bob McDermott, who's still very involved.
He's still on the board.
And who's worked here at FATV or volunteered here at FATV over the years. So Bob, hello, it's nice to see you again.
And it is one of the most special things about Alpha is that it really is a collaboration between the community, between folks, older adults, who want to take these courses and the university. Those folks are sitting right next to us as we are designing our curriculum, as we're developing courses, picking out trips. And so Joanne, who sits on our board and takes the courses,
And teaches some of them as well.
I don't. No,
Oh, I thought
Lisa
you
has.
taught.
No,
but
Lisa
we
has
should
taught,
have
but,
her. That's a great idea.
No, I'm enjoying being on the
Yes.
other side. But you know, it started out with Fitchburg State professors teaching abbreviated courses. They're 5-week sessions, 2 5-week sessions each semester. But then, you know, other people came forward, or I suppose on the curriculum committee, some people would say, well, I know somebody who can do teach aerobics or aerobic swimming, or, you know, just different things. And so now we teach, there are music classes. You want to learn how to play a harmonica? We've got a class. You want to learn how to play the ukulele? I've done it. 5 weeks, I can play the ukulele.
Oh, that's great.
You know, or we did singing. So there are, and then there's all the art, the painting, different mediums. So it's not the same class every single session. You might do acrylics one session. You might do watercolors another session.
Well, I'm going to challenge people because I think we've all said, oh, I wish I had, or I've always wanted to. Perfect. If you've always wanted to do something, check their offerings.
Check it out.
We keep talking it's for older adults. Is there an age limit?
Actually, we you know, typically it is older adults, folks who've retired, maybe on the verge of retiring, and maybe aren't working as many hours. But to be honest, we don't have a hard, fast age limit. I know that we had a grandparent one time bring their grandchild to one of the art courses. It doesn't typically happen, and I know that we've occasionally had some folks who were a little bit younger, but for whatever reason weren't working during the day and could take the courses.
Well, I remember taking, Paul Loria offered History of Folk Music, and it was a crowded class. There were a lot of people who were my age or older, but then there was a fellow who looked like he was about 30 years old, and I don't know how we found out about it, but there he was every single week. So, you know, there was never like, oh, you can't be here because you're too young. No.
I didn't know that about Paul. He'll be here at our Christmas show in 2 weeks.
Oh, Paul teaches.
He teaches. He's done our Hootenanny sing-along course. He's done our harmonica course. So he's done a lot of great.
He's the one who taught
Now,
me how to play ukulele.
okay, so there's no age requirement, high or low age requirement. What are how do people enroll? What is there a cost for this?
There is, and typically, as Joanne was saying, the courses run in 5-session or 5-week segments in the fall and the spring. One course, so one 5-week course, you come 5 times, is only $30. And we do actually also sprinkle throughout that several free offerings. So an example of that would be in the spring, I'll be teaching a course that is focused on Fitchburg State University's Community Read, where the entire Fitchburg community reads the same book. And it's called The Girls of Atomic City. That'll be a free course for anybody who'd like to take it. We also, Joanne was mentioning that we offer many of our courses down at the McKay Campus School physically, but we also offer courses at the Leominster Public Library, and those are always free. And so we do try to make sure that there are offerings that folks can dive in at whatever comfort level they have to pay.
Yeah, and there are, and speaking of not just at McKay, we have a very popular cooking course, very, very popular, and it's taught at Fitchburg High School because they've got a kitchen set up there, and it's you have to really jump in and get into that class if you want to get it. It fills up. We have
very popular.
2 sections, and it fills up very quickly.
What else I'm hearing is an awful lot of cooperation in the community. When you say you do this at the Fitchburg High School, you do this at the Leominster Library.
There have been classes at the Fitchburg Senior Center.
Yes, Wachusett Meadow Wildlife Sanctuary in Princeton.
That's
They've been
become
very
an
gracious
absolute,
to us.
a definite every Monday. There's a class there.
And we can't forget the Fitchburg Art Museum. They have been
Right.
a wonderful partner with us, not only in letting us use the studio there, but in also allowing us to develop courses where we use the pieces of art that they have there. In the spring, we're going to be doing a textiles course. and and a photography course, and we're going to be using pieces of art that they actually have there. So the Fitchburg Art Museum has been a great partner to us as well.
But I love the enthusiasm that you both have. And Lisa, this is your baby, more or less. And when you're talking about when all that it encompasses, and you head up this whole program.
It's a piece of the work that I do at the university. It's not everything that I do there.
I don't know how you have time to do anything else.
But I have to say, we have so many volunteers that help me. As I said, this really is a community-based, community-run organization. So we have a board that's all volunteer. We have subcommittees that help us to come up with all these great ideas, find all of our great instructors. So, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I've been on a couple of boards, which I've enjoyed very much, but I never even had heard the term working board until I got onto this board. And it truly is a working board. Alpha runs because Fitchburg State is very, very good to us, but we have, about 20 people who meet once a month, and we go through all of the important details that we have to deal with. Each one of those 20 members is on a committee of one sort or another, and we're always looking for more volunteers. So, you know, when you've got a class and you see somebody who's really into it and asking a lot of questions and all of that, you know, you talk to them afterwards and say, would you be interested in doing a little more, or would you like to get on the curriculum committee or something like that? So,
And Joanne, I know you have always been a very busy person, and you've always been involved in a lot of community organizations. Why are you so dedicated to Alpha?
Well, first and foremost, because I've had so much fun with Alpha. You know, the courses
Well, you
that
play
I've taken.
the ukulele
I
now.
play the ukulele, but I mean, I've had history courses, and I've had English courses, and the music, and the Wachusett Meadow out in Princeton. I've just done so many things with Alpha that it behooves me to try to make sure that Alpha continues, because I want to continue to take classes every year with Alpha. It's so affordable. It's so, it would be very, very, I can't imagine somebody going through that brochure and not finding something in the fall and the spring that they say, oh, I definitely have to take that class.
Now, this is a brochure from this fall.
fall, yeah.
Is the spring brochure out now?
It's it'll almost be out soon. We're so close. The schedule is done. We're working on sort of the final touches on it to get it out.
And where will people be able to get it?
We do a very large mass mailing out to folks, and then we have a great team of volunteers. As I said, we keep talking about
Bob
volunteers that Bob McDermott heads up. A great team of volunteers that also does where they drop them off at key locations, senior centers, libraries, different places in the community, so folks can just walk right in and grab it.
And as Lisa said, we draw from at least 13 communities in the area. That's where Bob and his volunteers bring brochures. So if you're in Lancaster, you're in Groton, or you're in Sterling, they'll be at your senior center or your library, or both, or other places even. I think there's a barbershop someplace that
we drop them off at little restaurants and coffee shops. And,
right. So,
but it's also rather easy too if you can't get to one of those locations, and if it doesn't land in your mailbox, you can just go to the Fitchburg State University website. In the search engine, just put in Alpha, ALFA, and it'll come right up, and you can take a look at it at your leisure.
You can see all the courses.
You can see every course. You can register online, which is brand new. We just started that in the fall. You can still register by paper if that's more convenient for you. And you can get put on our mailing list easily, and we can send everything out to you. So it's a pretty exciting program.
There was a time when a lot of seniors were desperately trying to get into computer classes and learn about all this new technology.
Yep.
Has that evened off a little bit? Because I think we're all a little more wise, technically wise than we used to be.
I think probably you're right. I think it has, because we had a good 2/3, if not greater than 2/3. This was our first time doing the online, and at least 2/3 of the people registered online. Just, you know, it was done, it was was like in 3 days, right?
Yes,
Something
it
like
was.
that?
It was. We were nervous anytime
no
you launch
idea.
something new like that, and we were pleasantly surprised. Our alphas really, latched on to registering online. And again, we also have the option of still to paper registration
Yeah.
for those who
You know.
want to. And we also held tutorials in our computer lab at Fitchburg State. So if you didn't quite feel comfortable with it, you could come down and we'd
You
walk
still
you
could.
right through it. And
Yeah.
it was great. What's wonderful about Alpha too is that it's matured so much over these many years, and it's no longer a pilot program at the university. We've really embraced it. Our full-time faculty have really embraced it. They develop courses specifically for Alpha. We're doing a dystopian literature course this spring. This fall, we're doing the Women of World War II. I mean, so not only do we have cooking courses
Yeah,
and art courses
right.
and recreation courses, but we have some really amazing academic courses that really, you can, are just
Yeah,
so amazing that our full-time faculty develop specifically for Alpha.
You know, I've taken quite a few of the more academic courses. They've been great. And all of those professors that I've had a chance to get to know in these classes, first of all, they love teaching
Yes.
us because we're there because we want to be there.
It's very different. It's very
is.
different.
But also, they don't have to give us any tests. They don't have to assign us any papers. We just come to hear them, and they love it when we have things to say, and discussions get started. And I've heard them say that they tell other professors, "Have you taught an Alpha course yet? You're going to love it. You should do it." The other thing is that some of the courses that were this year that had never been done before. Drones.
Yes.
And now you think drones, no, that's young people's technology.
Yeah.
All of these young people that are running the station now, that's their thing. Oh no, that was an extremely popular class.
Really?
Extremely
Interesting.
popular.
And,
Yeah.
and it was our chief information officer at the university who specializes in this, has his license in being a drone operator, approached me and said, "I'd love to do a course for Alpha." Now, he could have said, "I'd love to do a course for undergraduate students or for this other population," but he said, "No," he said, "I want to teach Alphas, older adults, mature adults, about this technology." And by the end of the course, they were out at Elliott Field at Fitchburg State University flying their
Flying drones.
drones. He taught them how to edit all of the video footage that they took, and they had a wonderful time out there. So
I'm glad you brought
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
up because
Yeah.
it's not what you would expect.
No, not at all. Well, my husband's been taking a class on extinction and whether or not that's the direction that the human race is going in. Not what I would have wanted to take because it just, but he comes home every Tuesday and he's just got full of information about, and I think that's taught by a retired Fitchburg State professor,
Yeah,
I
Bob
think.
Champlin.
Yep,
Yep.
And that's another thing, that there have been professors who started teaching Alpha classes while they were still also doing their regular workload and have since retired, but they stay
They wanna
on
come back.
as instructors, and
Yeah.
they're fabulous.
And
yeah.
if you're not quite ready for the full 5-session course, or maybe you don't want to be heavily into academics, you just want to dip your toe in, we have free one-time lecture series that are amazing. We have a committee of volunteers that put those together, and we just started, this idea came out of our board members actually wanted to do a Bring a Friend program.
Yeah.
So for someone who has never taken an Alpha course before, we piloted this past fall semester. We picked some key courses, and you, for free, could just bring a friend. And I know I taught a TED Talk course this past semester, and I had 3 to 4 new faces. A friend brought them along, kind of like a Tupperware party, right? Bring a friend, right? Get a free bowl. And it was just great. We got to meet new people, and they got to get exposed to Alpha and have fun, and that's what it's all about.
It's the best marketing or advertising you could possibly have.
Yep.
They come to a free class.
Well,
and you're
yeah,
hooked.
it was a lot of fun.
And I think it helps because, when people who have been not taken a class in anything for so many years, they might feel a little intimidated by this whole idea about going to Fitchburg State and all of that. And it's a professor who's teaching, and it's a whatever the course is. to be able to just go and come and visit and see what the class is like and realize that
Right.
there's nothing to be concerned about. There's
Right.
nothing to be worried about.
I want to make sure we clarify this. The 5-week course is 1 day a week for 5 weeks?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because people might think it's 5 days a week for 5 weeks. 1 day a
One
week
day a
for
week.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
And you said the spring catalog will be coming out soon, but tell us some of the things that you think, I know you can't tell me all the courses. Tell me the ones you think people are going to be attracted to and should probably sign up early for. Cooking, we know.
We definitely we know the cooking class. We've started a brand new biking class, a bike group that's been getting together and doing all the wonderful rail trails that are in our area, which has been really exciting. And that's going to be a late spring course that we'll be doing. We've developed a storytelling course, so people can come and learn the art of storytelling. We're definitely going to be doing the community read, which is the Girls of Atomic City, and so that's going to be another course that we're going to be offering. And
You know, I was just going to say, I think it's also important to realize that every brochure is slightly different from the
Yes.
one before and the one that's going to come afterwards. There are some things that we always offer every session because they are so popular. But then there are other ones that we want to get, you know, somebody who comes forward and has a great idea for a class. It's like, let's give this a try. Let's see what we can do. Like the drones. I mean, who knew? And yet, I'm sure that'll be in the brochure again sometime.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you pay attention to feedback both from the students and the professors.
Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
we do. All of the students at the end of each course fill out an evaluation and then give us suggestions, and those go to our
Things that
curriculum
they would
committee.
like.
And we have lots of great ideas to kind of go through and kind of sort of develop courses. We're doing a great course in the spring with a brand new professor at Fitchburg State University on inequality, which I think is going to be really exciting. In the past, we've done some great courses on gender studies. We're doing actually a deep course. Our department chair for education, Dr. Nancy Murray, is going to do an autism spectrum disorder course. So I think it's going to be a great slate of offerings for folks. And then, as I was saying before, Barbara, I think that Alpha, the program itself, has matured quite a bit. And so we developed sort of an offshoot of the Alpha program called Bridges Together. And our seniors, our older adults, actually now work with the third graders at the McKay Campus School. And they go in once a week and they share with one another about their heritage, about their culture, about their traditions, what school was like, what school's like now, what school was like many years ago. And we are in our 3rd year of doing that program. And so we pull those volunteers from our alphas. And so it's a great marriage of being able to work with all of the students on campus, from the youngest students to the oldest students.
And you've gotten a lot of good feedback, both from the teachers and the volunteer
Yes.
adults, but also you've been hearing from other schools that have heard about it and said, how can we do something like that? So, I mean, it really is a wonderful, wonderful program.
And there's an element of storytelling in there, too.
Yes.
No, there absolutely is.
Yeah.
And on a sort of a larger scale, Governor Charlie Baker actually just came out this spring with an executive order where he said that he wanted to investigate making the Commonwealth of Massachusetts more elder-friendly. And so he developed a task force that folks across the Commonwealth are sitting on. They're looking at many aspects of the lives of older adults, but one of the pieces of that is education. And I think that the Alpha program and the work that Fitchburg State University is doing with our volunteers is an exemplary program that highlights the ways that our state universities and colleges can really be inviting the entire community into learning.
There's no better way to keep people young.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep them learning, keep their mind
Yep.
active, have them have something to look forward to, which I want to make sure we mention your trips. You also take some trips. And we've only got a few, we have 4 minutes left.
Have you been on any of the trips,
I
Joanne?
have.
You
I
can-
have. I haven't been in a while, but they do get filled up rather quickly. But I can remember going on one of the coldest days ever in early January, and we went to the Boston Public Library, and we had a fabulous tour of that. In fact, I think, yeah, we went in and we broke into two groups and had two different docents give us a tour of the library and behind the scenes in the library. And then, you know, you break for lunch and you're on your own. So we're right in downtown, easy to find a place to eat. And then we met back over at Copley Square at the church. The
Trinity Church.
Thank you, the Trinity Church. Got a fabulous tour of that. That was so much fun. Another time going to the BSO, also behind the scenes, but then behind the stage and all of that, but also listening to a practice session of, it was I don't remember now, I think it was a Mahler, but it was excellent. It was so much fun.
Yeah,
And
that sounds great.
everybody I know who's been on all kinds of trips. They went to DeCordova this spring, didn't
this
they?
January, we're headed to the Museum of Fine Arts, and then in late spring, we're headed to Mystic Seaport, I believe. They're going to be
that
heading
should
to that.
both be wonderful. So anyway, folks, we gave you a lot of information, and I thank you both. Keep up
Thank
the
you.
good work. Like I said, it's a great way to keep the older people young and fresh. And thank you for your dedication and what you're doing, and
Thank
for sharing
Thank
with
you.
us
Thank
tonight.
you.
Thanks for having us
Take an
on.
alpha class with
Yeah.
us, Barbara.
Well, I'm
You'll love
going to
it,
find the
Barbara.
time for that.
You are.
And also, I want to thank you for watching. And we know we're in the Christmas season when we start our Christmas music here. And next week, we're going to have the International Veterans Chorus perform. They used to be part of our regular Christmas program, but there are so many of them. We were giving them their whole hour. And Fran Cooley is their director. She's taken over for Donna Allard. They'll be with us next week. And then the following week is our annual Barbara and You Christmas musical. And the Paul Lurie and the Sons of Blarney, I think they're
yes.
calling their
Yeah.
group,
Yeah.
and we have the Jazz Depot and a lot of soloists. We have a lot of good music, and it's one of my favorite shows that we do all year long, and I also show off my family. So I will be here. So please join me next week for the International Veterans Chorus. And this is Barbara Foster saying good night, and God bless you.
The things we've done together. We'll talk and plan things out. You know we can make it better.